Topic today that is really gonna shift the way you see things. Okay, it's huge. I know I'm not dressed like all formal or anything, but just lock in here and listen anyway. It was a spontaneous video and I just feel inspired to share this with you right now. So the topic we're going to talk about today is called Seeker's Cycle, right? And when I say Seeker's Cycle, what I mean is this: it's the idea of thinking that you can get more out of life, the idea of wanting to attain something, a goal or something that will make things better. And most of the time when people take this course of action or this course of thought, they go around, they tend to not achieve what they want, and they come back to the same choice point again. Then they go around again and again and again, and life just starts to seem like a loop, like a loop. You go for something, you almost make it, but no, something happened last minute, and then you go again. And then you do the same thing again. You try to change it, you do something different, but no, you go again and again, and then life just seems to be this continuous loop, right? And the loop is not just random. It's actually a loop in consciousness, because you're holding the same thing in mind every single time and creating the same result over and over. So let's deal with exactly why it happens now. The reason that it happens is this, and I want to be really clear about this because we're all moving together on this one right now, right? The reason why it happens is that you are confused about what you are, right? As funny as it sounds. Now, if you ask people who they are, or where, or what they are for that matter, right? And this is an advanced question. This is not an everyday victim type question. This is a question of a mind that's actually evolving and questioning and wanting to advance, right? The advanced question. So what happens is, if you ask most people what they are or who they are, they will tell you things like, well, I'm from here, and I grew up here, and I'm from this state, and, you know, represent, and all of that stuff, right? And they don't get to the core of who or what they really are, right? What they are, I want to be real clear on this, and if you can agree with this, great. If you can't, then I'll break it down in different ways and make it slightly different. And if it still doesn't resonate with you, then just don't listen. It's all good. Here we go, though, right? You know that saying about we're spiritual beings having a human experience? Well, let's take that a bit further. We're not spiritual beings having a human experience. We're spiritual beings, period. We're energy, right? And our consciousness is sort of the medium that allows us to express that energy and to witness that energy. That's what consciousness is. All you accept as being true. And it is shown to you through perception. Perception, however you perceive it, right? Eyes, ears, those things. And it's you that you're seeing. So understand that you are all of it to begin with. That clarifies things, because then the distinction between being and having is now deleted completely. It's totally dissolved, because you cannot be, right? Or you cannot have anything that you are not. You can only have what you are, because you are everything, right? So you must be it in order to have it. If you want to have anything, you must become it in order to have it or to experience it. And so that's where the conflict comes in, because in the seeker cycle, the individual tries to have something without firstly understanding that they have to be it in consciousness, and so they search in the physical world for it. And the act of searching in it, searching for it in the physical world, is actually the act of saying they do not have it. They're going after something, and by going after that something, what they're doing is pushing it even further from themselves, because their consciousness recognizes that they do not have it, because they're declaring that with their being. And that is where the conflict lies. That is why it is very hard and almost impossible, or to be more clear, it is impossible to have anything and keep it that you are not. The only way to keep something is to have it. This is why some people will go after things in their whole life, and sometimes they might land on, like, let's say they want to be millionaires, and they land on $1 million, and you check them about a few months later and you realize they spent all the money, they don't have it anymore, right? The thing is that they never really had it, because they didn't have it in consciousness. They had it as a physical experience for a little bit, because finally they stumbled on enough of the willpower to have it come through for that little bit. But it will leave as well. It must leave, because it's not really them. It's not what they embody in consciousness, right? So to be and to have are inseparable. They're one thing. To have anything, you must become it, or you must know that you are it, right? To seek anything and think that you don't have it is to declare that you do not have it, and with your being you will experience that you do not have it, right? Now I'm going to drop something on you that's going to help in clarifying this totally. You know, everybody starts talking about the law of attraction and the secret and all of that stuff, and it's sort of old now. Everybody gets it, right? Let's go a step further on that. There is a law that's a parent law to the law of attraction, right? Intention creates purpose. Purpose is that drive you have where you feel a magnetic impulse to do some things, or you're driven to do something, or you're inspired. Like, this is a purpose right now for me. I'm filming this video and giving it to you. It's a purpose, and it came from an intention that I had, right? So my intention is to deliver this information to you so that you live very lovely lives, and we can resonate on that same level, and the consciousness of everyone around me is similar to mine, and I have a huge community, right? So this is what's happening right now. This is the intention that I set, and this is the way that my purpose is being fulfilled. Just like that, you can do the same thing with anything, right? And in order to have your purpose fulfilled through that law of attraction, you want to go to a higher law, right? Because the higher law always governs the lower laws. And when I say higher and lower, I'm just speaking in terms of that which is closer to divine consciousness, that which is closer to truth, that which is closer to reality, that which is closer to the truth of your being as you are. So let's talk about this right now. The law of attraction is there. The governing law, or the parent law, is called the law of assumption. Now, many spiritual teachers and advanced adepts would have come across this already, obviously, because it would be in their field, and you will experience things that are in your field as you advance, as you go deep into meditation, as you come closer to divine consciousness and you ask, and those things come into your experience. So most likely, if you've crossed this already, it's because you had elevated to a point in consciousness where you could receive it. So here we go. The law of assumption is simply this. Anything that you would like to achieve or you desire to achieve, you must fully know that you have it already. It must be in you as a vibrational state. You must know it beyond a doubt. You must know it. You must be in it in the present. You can only create in the present moment. So by being in it in the present, or being it, and when I say being it, let me clarify that. Let's say, and I'll use a random example. Let's say I wanted to attain a doctorate in a certain subject. I would have to look at myself as already having attained that. Because as the being I am, right, I must be that before I can see it, right? You must be it before you can see it. So by being it, that means I'm actually visualizing and not using too much imagination per se, but actually falling fully into the feeling of that being fulfilled. And that's the best way to state it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled. You can check this up with people like Neville Goddard and other people from the past who have stated it way back in the 1930s, right? Way before The Secret even came out and all that stuff. This stuff was there, and it always is there, but you have to be at a vibrational resonance to have it come into your experience. So I'm speaking about that idea of having the wish fulfilled. Now, when the wish is fulfilled, really, I want to touch on this too, just to be clear and to not skew things. A wish is unnecessary because we have will, right? But for this point, just to understand this topic, the wish fulfilled means that you know that the thing that you want or that you desire has already happened. If it has already happened, there's no questioning it. You live in it, you live as it, you see it, you feel it, you even taste what it would taste like, you smell what environment you would be in. And I know this sounds abstract, but if you get into that to that degree where all your senses tell you it is there, then guess what? It's there. That's the whole point. It's there because you're there, because you're it. You're allowing it to happen. So by fully falling into that vibrational state, the law of assumption, which is where you set your intention, goes into full motion. It sends out the electric impulse, which then translates into the magnetic pulse that lets the law of attraction go to work to make it out of consciousness and bring it into your experience. And that is how it really works, right? So if anybody tells you any different to that, well, you can listen to them and see, but go through your experience and find out what's really there. This is the truth about it, okay? So what I'm telling you is to avoid the seeker's cycle. The law of assumption is primary. You fall into the state of already having it. You won't go running after things or trying to manipulate people to get things, because you know it comes from you. It comes from your consciousness. No one can tempt you with anything or tell you, hey, if you do this, I'll give you this, and this will make you closer to this. And no. None of that will matter to you, because you're so grounded in the fact that you have it, that nothing can pull you off that track of being in that state fully, right? And that's acquiring the state and attaining that state within yourself to the degree where you don't have to use people to get things, right? Because right now what's happening in our society is people are using people to get things, right? They're using people and loving the things instead of loving people and using things. It's different, right? Things have switched. And we really want to get back to that state where we can communicate and be together in that lovely communion, understanding that we're all one, right? It is a pleasure to be able to relate to someone without any sort of intention or anything about who they should or shouldn't be. You just embrace and meet them as they are, and that is what comes to you when you stand in your full state of having achieved exactly what it is you want to achieve right here, right now. So that's what I wanted to tell you about today, right? The seeker cycle, how to avoid it, empower you into the law of assumption. Thank you so much. And if you want to find out more about this type of work, to come with me and find out how you could actually use this and help other people and empower other people to do well as in your life, see your life do really well as is intended to you or intended for you by the divine consciousness that is in you, you can look at www.arealizationc.com. That's www.arealizationc.com, and that would be Absolute Realization and Absolute Realization Coaching and Healing. That's my website. And you can also just check me out. I'm King Gabriel, and if you Google that or whatever, you'll find a little bit of information here and there on me. I'd really like to connect with you, and I have 2 courses running right now. One is called the Archangel Certification Course. It's a course that teaches all the major modalities of healing and really teaches the background, which is the fundamental or the foundation that allows it to work. All these modalities don't work by chance. They work by the conviction of the individual who has really delved into that spiritual consciousness, right? That's what we're working on. And also the next course would be the Spiritual Masters course, right? This is a course for people who are really serious about delving deep into spiritual consciousness. Doesn't mean you're going to go off and live in some ashram, and that's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong with living in an ashram, but some people get those ideas when they think of spirituality that they'd have to leave everything and go in an ashram way away and all of that stuff and leave life. And no, that's not necessary. That may not be your path. Your path may be to know the law, to act through the law, and to interact with others through the law and help them to see it as well. That's how the most people get helped, right? We can't just be recluses and expect everybody to elevate. No, it's yes, we do give out conscious vibrations and we help the world lift through the lifting of consciousness, but at the same time the actual interaction with the individuals does help to a degree for them to spur on a little further. We wouldn't be here in form or experiencing form if it wasn't useful. It is useful, and this is the use of it. The use of it is interacting with others in a way that elevates them as well. So it is such a pleasure to be here with you. Contact me. Let's move. Hope to see and hope that we can move through the course together as well, because it is meaningful. Thank you very much. Eternal love and infinite peace.